Welcome back. It is the Flow Friday Sports Show here on Flow FM. Plenty of cricket to discuss, particularly in South Australia and especially in the Eyre Peninsula. And Paul Pearce from Eyre Peninsula Cricket joins me now. Paul, great to have you back on the line. How are you doing?
No, great to be here, Ellis, and good evening to everyone listening in Radio Land.
Absolutely. They are waiting with bated breath to hear your analysis and your reviews and previews. Let's get right into it, Paul, with Leigh Hunt Cricket. Let us know how the action all went across the weekend.
Well, I'm sure everyone's really excited to hear my voice again this week. But, Leigh Hunt Cricket round 2 last week there. And we'll look at the game of the round there, actually. And this one was between Coolangatta and Western Districts. Coolangatta batted first and they made 86. Young Davis got 4 for 25 for the Districts boys. 86 probably not enough, but Western Districts did get there in the end, but they did lose 6 wickets along the way. Bigsy taking 4 for 33 for the Coolangatta boys, and Angus Gunn being the mainstay for the Western District boys with 43 not out. So that's the whole league covered, actually.
There we have it. We'll move right along then. Eastern Eyre. We had, we've obviously got the new B grade sides, but some forfeits, I reckon, in there last week. So anything different this time around, Paul?
Oh, well, yeah, the Lock B grade did field a side. I probably didn't mention the Lock B grade score. I think it was 37. So they didn't do so well. The A grade is still going strong here with 4 games being played there. I think we'll take first one I'll have a look at it was between Kimber and Rudale up at Kimber. And Kimber took the Chockies pretty easy. They made 6 for 185 with Ben Shippard, Big Shippy making 55. And Rudale falling nearly 100 runs short. They were all out for 89 chasing that down. So, good win to Kimber. They're a good start for them. The second game we'll have a look at was between Port Neale and Dark Creek. Port Neale, the reigning runners-up, only just, dismissed for 93, with young Dusty Harris taking 3 for 6 for the Dark Creek boys. And in reply, Pete got there pretty easy, losing 1 wicket. Zach Meyer with 41, and Max Ramsey continuing his magnificent form in the first week with 45 not out as well. So the Peak are looking good. Started off really well. In comparison to last year, they didn't start so well and didn't finish so well. So, good all power to them. That's fantastic to see. The third game was between Lock and Buckleboo up at Buckleboo. Lock, once again, another score in the 80s. They were all out for 87. Jose Larwood and young Joey Leonard took 3 wickets each for the Buckleboo boys. And in reply, they got there pretty easy, losing 33 wickets along the way, not 30, sorry. And Bose Larwood making 31 and young Seth Gregory with 34 for Buckleboo. So that was a good win for them. And the final game in Eastern Eyre this week was between Cleve, the reigning premiers, and Cow. Cleve batted first and made 171, which is a pretty good score. Benny Shannon, Dylan Jenner, and young Regan Tahini all made 40-odd for the Cleve boys. But Cow, in response, got there with 5 wickets down. Really good win here. Young Lockie Crab, belting him everywhere, made 80 in pretty quick time, which was fantastic to see. It was contrasted with his opening batting partner, who happened to be his brother Zach, who made 23 off of 70 balls. So, chalk and cheese there, and Carl Jeske popping in with a few runs as well. So, really good win by Cow. Eastern Eyre cricket is looking good.
There we have it. Great Flinders, always plenty happening there. So, Paul, what's the latest from Great Flinders?
Well, we had one good result and one very, very interesting result. The first game we'll look at there was at Carcoo. It was played between Carcoo, Yelena and Yellanda Flat, the famous Hillbillies. Carcoo batted first. They made 165. And there's only 2 wicket takers, interestingly, for the Yellanda Flat boys. Young Cade Waite with 5 for 17, and another young fella, Jacob Parsons, took 5 for 35. So that was a fantastic effort from those 2 young lads. But 165, reasonable score, you'd think. However, Yellanda Flat, after not making many runs at all last week, they came out and got the runs, got them well, with 5 wickets down. Big highlight of the day, probably everywhere else in the first big ton for the season, was by Dan Parsons of Yellowknife Flat with 112 not out. So congratulations to Dan. That's fantastic. Really good innings. And the other game was between the reigning premiers Cockaleachy, who hardly lost a game in the latter part of the season at all last year, coming up against Kapini Mount Hope. Cockaleachy batted first, all out for 40. So, 13 and a half overs there and 6 ducks generally. So there's not going to be too many runs made. So Cockaleachy all out for 40. However, Kapini Mount Hope didn't have it all their own way. They lost 5 wickets along the way, so they got there, reasonably easy in the end. So, a couple of contrasting results for Great Flinders this week.
All right, let's take a look at Far West. We'll just preview this, Paul. The action gets underway this weekend.
Yeah, it does. Far West this week, the first game is going to be between Smoky Bay and Sejuna at Smoky Bay. That'll be a good game. Sejuna are a bit short on numbers apparently, but I think young Charlie Williams, their captain, might have flown in during the week from his overseas sojourn, so that'll be a big in for them. And it should be a fairly even game. Smoky Bay coming pretty good towards the end of the season last year, so I don't know where to lean with this one. Maybe Smoky Bay just. And the second game is going to be at Thevenard, of course, and that'll be between Thevenard and Streaky Bay, last year's grand finalists. Streaky Bay, they were really, really strong all year last year, and I expect them to be as good this weekend coming too. So, good luck to the Streaky boys there.
Paul Pearce from the Eyre Peninsula Cricket. Great to have you on the line again. Looking forward to seeing how it all goes on the weekend. We'll speak to you next week. Thanks so much for your time.
No worries, Ellis. Thanks. It should be a great weekend of cricket everywhere. So, good luck, everyone.